Hey guys, and welcome back to Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. We're not quite done with our adventures in Oho Oasis just yet, but I'm fairly certain we'll find a way off this island in this particular part. In the meantime, and I believe you put it best, Hell Dragon, we're going to have a listen to some of the adventurer's exposition.
Thank you for stealing my awesome pun, by the way, because I made this last time, and he was so amazed by it, which is odd. Because I've been making such gratifying, amazing puns for a long time now as we've done this commentary thing, and I have not gotten the props for it, as I feel I richly deserve.
Well, actually, the term was exposition, and I said it wrong, so kudos to you, I guess.
Just as long as the original spirit of the joke is preserved, and all of the original credit goes to me, as nature intended.
That goes for art on Twitter as well, guys. Cite your sources.
So this is basically telling you, yeah, you can set the OG on fire, or you can electrocute them. I wouldn't do it, but it is a thing you can do. So that will be, if you do that, you'll actually end up in a battle with these guys. And I think there's like one section, like I don't remember being on the Oasis that much, where you actually have to do it in order to unlock something extra. Don't quote me on that, I'm probably remembering it wrong.
Well, whenever I go through, like, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I always forget this bit comes after Woohoo University, and to be honest, I wouldn't even recommend, like, fighting the Oho-G. They're just kind of, like, filler fights, really. I mean, you have to do, like, a special thing to even activate the battle in the first place, because they're mostly peaceful. But I will tell you how to defeat them. If you use fire on the red ones, they'll just basically bloat up. I'm not sure what happens when they reach their full capacity, because I'm not going to allow that to happen. But the fire ones are weak to electricity, hence the critical sign. And he wants more fire, but I'm not going to give it to him. I will, in fact, give him the Chopper Bros.
Yeah, hammer indeed hot. It's basically the same as fire when you think about it a little too much.
Got piss poor EXP for that battle as well, just another reason not to fuck with the locals.
He was pretending to be dead! I don't get it.
Oh ho, what a funny race of blob people. Okay, we're going to show off our power here, and it will unlock the way off Oho Oasis. It must be pretty ancient, but when you see that it connects to a warp pipe, the lore is kind of confusing, more so than Dark Souls.
You know, now that I think about it, this brings up an interesting little bit, a bit of potentially dark trivia. People who come here can only really leave either by boat, of course, although I think there's actually like walls that surround it, as we'll see later, by that, or by taking this pipe, which only can be activated with the Firebrand and the Thunderhand. So does that mean people who have come to this island have died on here, or worse? Because we are dealing with a temple here, after all. You know, a temple full of magic and curses. Are the OG actually, some of them, are they actually the people who came to this island and never left?
Yeah, we never did see any of the expedition party, and that was fairly recent, and there are like a fair few Oho-G bopping about, and no, like, bean people to be found, so it's headcanon for the time being, but fairly interesting headcanon nonetheless. Anyway, we got ourselves a water section here, and much like in pretty much every 2D Mario to date, we don't have to worry about breathing or any of that oxygen bollocks. Just take pride in whacking these bloopers here. I'm kind of surprised they didn't make them of the bean variety. No, it's just your standard Mushroom Kingdom blooper.
Can you really make like a bean variety of the blooper? Like a...
If they can turn the blooper into paper, you know, like the giant bloopers and the shiny ones, I guess, they can make a mushroom-themed blooper. It's just that they don't want to try, I guess.
Like I said, I love the change in direction where right after, you know, Woohoo University, you're sent to this underwater section to change the pace up. I, again, don't really get why it's like an underwater section where you don't have to worry about breathing at all. And that's really something I've noticed that's inconsistent with the Mario games. Like, if it's the 2D games, especially if it's like the more modern ones, you know, you can go underwater indefinitely and you don't have to worry about breathing, but only in like the 3D ones, like 64 and like Galaxy, where you have to worry about breathing in water. I mean, why even have that distinction? It's just curious to me.
Maybe it has something to do with like how 2D games are made versus 3D games. Like, 3D games, by their very nature, are 3D. You move in a 3D space, and, you know, you have much more room to maneuver as opposed to the more linear nature of 2D for the most part. I know there's, like, 2D games that are more diverse in that regard, but you're usually in, like, an enclosed space in 2D games, so I guess Nintendo just wanted to take the danger factor out a little bit and allow Mario to swim to his heart's desire. Or maybe just video game logic, I don't know.
I mean, it would have made sense if Rystar had to breathe underwater. I don't think he even needs, like, food. Then again, they don't have, like, a ton of lore about Rystar. I've only seen, like, I don't even think they've had any, like, UK comics. It was just the Game Gear game, and that's, like, it. And there's, like, nothing else for Rystar out there, which is sad, but oh well.
I miss Rystar. You've made me sad now, I can't concentrate on the game.
So yeah, I think you can guess what happens if you swim a little bit too low to those spikes, just throwing that out there.
Yep, you will take a spike up the bomb and get kicked back to the start of the area you're in. These bloopers aren't too hard to deal with, they just float over to you. You can even, like, time their attacks just by listening to the bloops that they make, and when they get near you, just counter with the hammer. As for the beanies, unless they're surrounded by spikes, they'll just float up to the surface, so it's all good.
I thought that was a really nice little touch, actually. Like, that's an easy way to take them out, but it raises the question, I suppose, of what spine-colored beanies are doing underwater. I don't know, if you were to remove those from, like, an urchin, would they just be considered a completely separate creature as a result?
Well, don't forget, we saw these guys in Chucklehook Woods. I guess these are the ones that are indigenous to the ocean surrounding Oho Oasis.
Yeah, and because the bloopers are floating enemies, you will actually miss if you try to do a normal hammer attack. This thing does not come up that much, but it is important to consider, so do keep an eye out for where the enemies are in terms of their position to see if some attacks will land. Same is probably true with the hand attacks, because you always use the hand attacks on the ground. Thank you for revealing that golden beanie, by the way, that we now can't get. Thanks a lot, game.
Well, I'm pretty sure that counts towards killing the thing, because, you know, if you keep attacking the spined enemies, they're gonna break their outer shells eventually, and the beanies will just float up to the surface and die.
Oh no.
This is what I like to do when I go vacationing. I'll just run ramshot into squids that happen to be in the area, and I challenge them to a fist fight.
That's just how I say hello, really.
They hate it when I go to the Bahamas. Did you hear? THD is going to be in town, and he's going to be beating all of us up again. I hate that guy.
Yeah, just giant squids laying dead on the beaches. Oh, tourism nightmare.
They probably get all their lunch money taken. That's probably why you have to watch out for tourists in these areas.
How long did you take concocting this commentary tale, mate?
I have no fucking idea. I am literally coming up with this on the fly, the things we do in order to keep the commentary train going.
Indeed. This war section, thankfully, isn't too long, but again, it's Superstar Saga. They keep, like, the padding to a minimum, honestly. Be thankful this isn't Dream Team. This section would go on for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up. The padding in this game feels perfect. Like, no area really overstays its welcome. It goes on just long enough to get enough variety, enough, combat in, and then you're immediately on to the next place. Like, you don't feel like you said. With Dream Team, it doesn't feel like it just drags and drags as sub-goals get introduced and things like that. You're at a nice, consistent pace, and that's another great thing about this game.
You can walk, you can float. It's up to you, really. It's your Superstar Saga experience.
Yes, choose your own Superstar Saga. That reminds me, actually. Have you ever read those Choose Your Own Adventure books that were based on Mario?
No, actually. Tell me a little bit about them.
Okay, I think there are like 3 or 4 of these. And it was part of a sub-series of books where it was Nintendo themed. It wasn't an official, Choose Your Own Adventure label. But it basically worked the same way. You could choose whatever direction you want, and you got different endings, things like that. More kid-friendly, but at the same time, it is possible to fuck up incredibly badly in these books and just have horrible things happen. So I was always tense about those. Now, they had 2 at the library I was at when I was in elementary school, I believe, when I checked this out. One of them was I think this was when around I think it was Super Mario World, or based on Super Mario Bros. 3. So it had the Koopalings, and One of them was like, I think it was fucking Lemmy or something. Lenny, whatever the fuck his name is, the L one. And they had a machine that used sand to create copies of people. And they were flooding them into the kingdom, but they weren't perfect copies, as they are naturally aren't. So, like, what happens is that Luigi discovers that you could destroy them by splashing with spaghetti sauce, because they're Italian, you know, just throwing that in there.
Jesus Christ, God.
And another one was where the king actually got turned into a rabbit, which I believe that's the plot of, like, either Mario Brothers 3 or World, am I right?
Sorry, repeat again. I was actually on the Super Mario Wiki looking this stuff up. Are you thinking of Double Trouble?
Yeah, that's the name of the book. Like, they all have names, of course. But...
Wait. Characters. You've got Iggy Koopa, King Bowser Koopa, Wendy-O Koopa, Abraham Lincoln, mentioned in parentheses.
Oh yeah, I remember. This was during that weird time where it sorta had connections to the real world. It was weird. But... it was another one where the king got turned into a rabbit, and I do believe this happened in one of the games. And basically what they had to do is they look into the source of this, and then it turns out the only way that they'll turn the king back is, I think, fucking Lemmy or one of the damn Koopalings. I don't know who, I don't care. Okay. So one of them had like a magic wand that did this, because, you know, they have magic wands. And in order to get it, they had to get this. They had to do a fucking Olympics, where your choices or whatever would affect the kind of medals you get, and you had to beat the Koopalings. Now, of course, I don't see why you couldn't lose and then just fucking steal it back anyway, but that's me. But here's the thing about those books. It wasn't just like binary, you know, go to this page, go to that page. No. In order to determine sometimes what page you went to, you actually had to complete puzzles and mini-games within the book itself, which I thought was a neat little idea. I mean, obviously you couldn't replicate the action-based gameplay of the Mario games, but you had these like little puzzles and things like that you could solve, and depending on the range of answer you got, you actually went to a different page. So as long as you didn't know what the fuck you were doing in terms of the puzzle, it was actually kind of a cool way to get a little bit of playability, quote-unquote, out of the book.
I'm a big fan of like choose your own adventure stuff. I've read you know, similar to you know, your elementary school library experience, but this was secondary school for me. I read a couple of the Goosebumps one, and you can get some pretty unsavory endings if you don't make your choices wisely in those books.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with Choose Your Own Adventure, is that you always get fucked super easily in those. Like, and yeah, I'm sorry. In terms of, like, actual gameplay, quote-unquote, there wasn't really a lot. I prefer, actually, like, game books where you would have stats, and you would play out battles with, like, dice. You know, those kind of things. I mean, at least that way, you wouldn't feel, like, pressured to make a decision and then just have it completely fuck up your game. You know what I'm saying? Which happened all the time in Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh, we're back in Stardust Fields, and Bowser has seen better days.
I'm dying, Popple. I'm dying.
Oh, I think I can tell where this is going.
Well, I can too, having played the game before, obviously, but it's not a very nice thing.
Don't ruin the suspense. Wait, are we gonna get some Dio action here?
Maybe.
Oh no! No!
Dio! And that's actually a really cool shot right here.
Damn, man, the GBA has been pushed to its goddamn limits.
And I think we all can infer what happened, but we'll be less clear about that just to kind of keep up the pretense, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll act stupid. It's not exactly hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that too. Hello, Peasley.
Again, just gotta give a shout out to the Beanbean Kingdom royal family for being royals who actually get off their arses and do something.
Yeah, the royals who actually do things, you know, unlike the pirates who don't do anything. It's a nice change of pace.
Thank you, Luigi. I understand completely. Yes, sad. Yeah, well, I guess someone will have to go and search for them. Wink. Wink.
Yeah, Luigi, you get 2 winks because you're a hunk. Wink, wink.
I love that animation.
Well, at least Peasley is actually going to go ahead and... he's going to look for the pieces himself, actually. He's going to start on that while Mario and Luigi take care of something else. But again, very nice of him to actually get off of his ass and do something. Although, I'm surprised they didn't do this to begin with. You know, taking the Beanstar, splitting it up into 4 pieces, and putting them to the 4 corners of the earth. Because they always do that in RPGs. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You get the item of power. But we can't control the item of power, or it's sealed up this evil. I know. We'll break it up and put it everywhere, and it will definitely never ever be reassembled.
Ah, well, maybe they thought due to the fact that it's sleeping and only a pure voice can awaken it, they had a lot of safeguards in place, but they didn't factor in Cat Clatter being a bit of a bitch. Peacely out!
Alright, so now we have to go to Beanbean Airport, because as I believe he said, I'm hoping I get this correct, because I wasn't quite looking at the dialogue.
yeah, Peach is coming, essentially. She's taking the royal jet and coming for a royal visit.
And let's be honest, you know what happens whenever Peach enters one of these games. Something or someone is gonna kidnap her. It doesn't even have to be Bowser. I mean, it usually is, make no mistake. It especially is in the later games when they lost their sense of fucking creativity. But here in the Beanbean Kingdom, you still can't rest your laurels because, oh, Bowser's nowhere to be seen. Nothing's gonna happen now, but you'd be wrong, wouldn't you?
Oh god, she's got like a goddamn spider tracer on her. Enemies just know where she is at any given moment. Okay, before we move on, it's time to get a little bit fashionable, and we've got like 35% off these duds now, 43% even in some regards.
I don't need to buy anything to make up some hard pants, you know what I'm saying?
Talking about your penis, aren't you?
Yes, Tom! Thank you! I'm talking about my penis, my cock, my junk, my little lizard, my commander, my twig and berries. Need I go on?
No, I think we all get the gist of it at this point. Yeah, I'm not going to do any selling. Not right now, thanks. I'm actually pretty good in terms of money.
Yeah, besides, you know, item shops in these games, they always look like GameStop. They'll sell it to you for a ton, but they'll buy it back at only a fraction.
Oh, sorry. Past Tom here is making present Tom a liar, because I did end up selling some stuff.
You fucking fool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry!
Well, there's no choice. I'm gonna have to burn you alive now. I hope you understand, but it's just, you know, the normal kind of policy for these kind of things.
Yeah, this is how it works on HellfireComms. You get it wrong enough times and you just get burnt alive. So, be kind to Ntom65, won't you?
I'll have to consider it. I kind of wish it worked like that in real life, though. Like, I could sell anything at any store and get money for that. Like, I could bring in my TV. Alright, I'll give you 50 cents for that, but this is a clothing store. That's why you're only getting 50 cents.
Oh, here we go. It's time for one of the best minigames in all handheld game creation. This is second only to the T minigame in Professor Layton and the Diabolical / Pandora's Box, which you'll be seeing in December. It got bumped back slightly. Apologies for that. So, let's get down to the bean system here, the Star Bee system to be exact. Throughout your journeys you will find different beans. Some are easier to find than others. The most common of these, I believe, are the woo beans that you can get from like the beanies and whatnot. The chuckle beans are mostly found underground, which you can use Luigi to dig up. Some of them you can get from minigames, some are inside invisible blocks, so I would recommend looking for an FAQ if you want to get all of them. And yes, there is a reward for creating new blends of coffee, as we'll see soon enough.
There's another reason you'll want to create blends, because I believe, as we've said earlier, making blends and drinking them will actually boost certain stats, depending on the beans you use. So it can be helpful to do this every so often. It's not a really reliable method of boosting stats. It's more of an occasional kind of thing. You'll mostly want to focus on battling in order to increase your attributes, though.
Yeah, it takes a long time, like even for the more common beans, because you're not going to get woo beans every time you defeat a beanie, okay? It's like RNG in that regard, so just drink it and get on with your journey. But time to get down to the coffee creation process. We've only really got enough to make the woohoo blend right now, so we're going to go with that. 25 beans, sorted, mate, sorted.
Man, this really does feel like a Starbucks where they hire you for little amount of money, so you make your own coffee.
Oh, Jesus. I always wanted to drink frog piss.
It's all nice and warm.
Oh, a power outage, eh?
Luigi, get on that.
I recognise that music.
I bet you do. I mean, I do, even though... yeah, you're getting happy now, aren't you?
I love Luigi's Mansion.
Meanwhile, Mario's like, I don't remember this, because I was mostly stuck in a painting for most of that time. Is that like... I guess those events happened Like, and then they go to Superstars. I don't know where it fits in the timeline.
Well, it's probably like an alternate dimension that branched off, but yeah, EGAD's in this. I mean, it kind of gave the game away, because, you know, his face is the company's logo, but still, it's great to have him here, because, you know, he created the Poltergust, he created the magical paintbrush that was in Super Mario Sunshine, so it was great during this era to have, like, a sort of generational canon, like Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine, and I guess you could say Superstar Saga and Partners in Time as well, because I think EGAD was in that, don't quote me on that.
Now, EGAD will show up every time you make a new blend. However, digging in the game files, it's discovered that other characters were intended to show up for different blends. I don't remember all of them, but off the top of my head, you can meet Samus, I think Link, and I think Wario actually shows up, but don't quote me on that last one. You can find out more information about this on the Cutting Room Floor, which is a website devoted to finding what was cut out of games and other glitches and bits of data and things like that.
We only really get EGAD in this game, but that's fine, because I love EGAD. I kind of fell in love with his crazy way of talking, and the fact that he is eccentric, but he's also a proper genius as well. He's not one of those, like, try-hard scientific types who tries to create fantastic inventions, but because he's so wacky, he gets it wrong every time.
Yeah, he's not one of those wacky, shitty mad scientists, and for every time you make a blend, you get a unique item that you can equip, which again relates to the characters you would have been meeting otherwise that was, you know, left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, Greed Wallet essentially gives you more coins, so I believe if Mario's like holding it and he defeats an enemy, boom, you get more coinage for your destructive purposes. So, yeah, we now have an extra slot to equip like these items, so we're going to go ahead and put the Greed Wallet there. Doubles the coins you get from monsters. Mwah! Bueno, I guess that would have been Wario's time to shine, but he's not in this game, EGAD is. We'll see you next time for more bean collecting shenanigans.